And a good morning to you. It is Daybreak, and we are happy to have in studio with us this morning the mayor of Shelton, Gary Cronce. Morning, Gary.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Good. We've had you on the air over the last couple years here talking about city business, and once again you're coming on, and we're going to be talking about what are you bringing to the table today?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the new well that is being proposed to drill, and so I think that it's a subject that needs a lot of conversation.
Please, tell us about it.
The first thing is that I was maybe a little disappointed in the article in the Journal last week.
Okay.
And I have a script here, a response to another side of that article, and so I thought I'd just bring that forward, and then we can talk about things. But for the record, I believe the headline in last week's Journal, "Two commissioners ignore water shortage warnings," is absolutely incorrect. Okay. As the mayor of Shelton, my question is not about the well. It's about how the city has an unquenchable appetite for borrowing money every time a major project is proposed. Today, Shelton is drowning in low-interest loan debt. We are nearly $60 million in debt right now and just transferred $300,000 out of our reserves just to keep us afloat through the remainder of this year. I'm not against drilling a new well, but before I add another $1.3 million to our city debt, I want to know what our options are, including the possibility of grant funding to help us pay for the well's cost. Whether we drill a new well now or 6 months from now, the water will be unavailable until the summer of 2017. Giving us ample time to research all options. Moving forward, these projects need to be addressed in our budget process. In the meantime, I will continue to ask questions and find funding alternatives other than more debt on the backs of the city's ratepayers. So that's my prepared statement on that. And when I ran for office, I first ran about 9 or 10 years ago, and then I lost, and then I won, and then I was just reelected. My main theme was to attempt to bring Shelton from the addiction of borrowing low-interest loans to budgeting for these things and slowing up that the borrowing, because my research has shown that majority of small cities about our size, they owe $5 or $10 million on sewer debt, mainly sewer debts, infrastructure costs. Some are more than that, but the majority of them are around about $5 or $10 million. Well, we're $60 million, and if we continue to just automatically, first option on the block is to borrow money without researching other options, we will go to 65 to 70 million to whatever we can possibly borrow. And the ratepayers want us to be fiscally responsible. And so I have an example of what I've been doing with Basin 3. You might remember Basin 3 was our last major basin project. And when I came into office 4.5 years ago, it was proposed that we had to do it. We were under court order by DOE, and they had a low-interest loan, and they had a $1.3 million grant, and then the remainder in loan. And the way we'd always done it said, oh, gee, we get this grant, let's just do it. And I said no. And I fought hard to take the time to I started the Sewer Funding Coalition, a statewide organization, which it addresses the needs of small to mid-sized cities, the rising cost of infrastructure, especially with sewers and basins, to the legislators. And there is a fund through the Department of Ecology called the Centennial Clean Water Fund. And that's been depleted over all the years. Well, our group, the Sewer Funding Coalition, brought to the legislators the attention that we needed to continue to fund that because our city, like a lot of other small cities, don't have the economic engine. We don't have the big business drivers to produce that kind of income to pay for these projects. And so we need significant grant funding. So what I was able to do through the work of the Sewer Funding Coalition is bring that attention to the governor and to the director of the Department of Ecology. And that $1.3 million grant is now up to $3.4 million. And I am fighting hard in this next legislative session to get another $2 million out of the capital budget, which I believe we will be successful in doing, which will move that grant money up to $5.5 million, and then I'm still looking for the last $1 million. But it's taken a lot longer. But working with the Department of Ecology, working with the governor, working with our state legislators, it's a longer process, but the Department of Ecology is thrilled that a city is fighting to pay for these things in other ways other than just continually automatically. It's simpler just to go and raise the taxes and get the money from the people and tell them you did the best you could. Well, I can't do that. I took the job as being mayor. It's very serious. And my main thing is to try and keep us from borrowing more money. And whether it's a well or a basin or whatever, I will continue to look and fight for that option. But I would never put the citizens' safety in jeopardy. I would never do that.
So let me ask you about this well. So it's about 75 years old.
Yep.
Some of the public works officials say it has failed.
Last summer, it ran low. Right during the heat of August, I believe it ran low. I don't know that it was getting right to the bottom of it. So yes, that happened.
So when it runs low, who are the folks that are affected by that in that system up in near the hospital area or the Alpine Way? That's kind of where the location of the well is.
Well,
right?
Nobody is affected. These are all these things are tied together. So you have two good wells. Okay, so just because if that well could be totally taken offline, and unless we had 2 or 3, now this is my opinion, this is my perception on this, okay, so you'd have different experts to come in and say something different, but in my conversations is basically, unless we had several 5-alarm fires all at once, you know, because remember we do have 3 big storage reservoirs. Plus, we have the brand new one up off of Highway 101, which is 400,000 gallons. That's going to be filled up here, I think, next month. So we have been making major strides towards improving our water system, not only the storage capabilities, but also the piping and all of the directions and all this. So we are building for the future, but we're building $1 million projects on $10 but I mean, we just don't have the money to do whatever we want whenever we want. And so I think that there are options. Drilling the well may be it, but borrowing the whole 1.3, I'm going to go over and get in my car and drive over and see if I can't find some other options for that. So
there's about a 3%, 4% annual every year kind of cost of business, wages going up and things like that. So if you wait, though, those 3 or 4% will add the cost each year. So would it be better to pay the now versus next year's when the wages potentially go up or more things cost more next year?
The answer to that is very clear and very easy. Maybe.
Very clear.
Okay, very clear. Because in Basin 3, that's not true. We were told the same arguments, low interest loans, we got a grant, we got to do it, the costs are going up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reality is we have $3.4 million in grant money now, where we only had 1.3 then. We're looking to get another $2 million, hopefully, out of the capital budget process this year, hopefully, which would then bring that up to $5.4 million. So sometimes waiting and searching out other funding options is the best way to go. In Basin 3, that's exactly the truth.
So, excuse me, back to that headline, in your opinion, there is no water shortage that could happen?
Well,
with this well failing?
There is no major, to put fear in people like they're running out of water or that we're going to die and all this stuff. The fear thing is another way that, and this is not blaming individuals, but it's a way the government has a tendency of getting people to accept the fact that we continue to raise their taxes to do things, okay? Do we have to drill a well? Yeah, we have to drill a well. That would probably be what we have to do. But I don't just jump and whether we did it now or we wait 6 months after we've researched other options. Remember, we have Shelton Springs, too, which was taken offline. There's an option there. The port has a well.
So I guess I don't understand why you say if we drill now or wait to drill, why the water still won't be available till summer 2017.
Okay, well, because it takes time to drill the well, put in all the pumps, connect everything up. I didn't say that. The Public Works Director said that. We will not have water. If we started tomorrow to drill that well, we would not have water by the summer of 2016.
2017.
Well, we won't have the water this year.
Right.
This summer, we would not have the water.
Even if we started now.
Even if we started
But
now.
if we wait 6 months, it's still the same
Well,
scenario?
if we waited 6 months and we did it, and we started drilling in November, December, January, February, we probably would have that water for that summer. And remember, this is not, as far as state requirements, we have till 2018, I believe, and again, this is from my perception, what I've heard, we have till 2018 until we have to do this issue. So I'm planning to go and have a conversation with the Department of Health, talk to them about our economics, about the way we want to fund projects and what we're doing, and see if I can negotiate a little better deal. The fear thing is just legitimate fear is good because it's a built-in mechanism that we have to ward off danger. But we have 2 fine wells. We have 3 reservoirs plus 1 more, 400,000 gallons added up there off of Highway 101. We have 1 well that still works, is working right now, but it runs a little dry in August. Well, I want to not just do the knee-jerk thing, borrow the money, say, ladies and gentlemen, I did the best I could. I didn't do the best I could. The best I can do is to go and try and find us some more money. Just as in Basin 3, just as we have done, it worked in that case, it can work in this case. And if it doesn't, then we borrow $1.3 million. We drill the well when we got to get it in, and everybody's happy. But if you just went along and just changed your course of the way you do business, just all at once. This was kind of put upon us rather suddenly, and I like to think things out, and I like to look for the other options, and I think that's what a mayor should do.
So what was put on suddenly?
The fact that we wanted to borrow $1.3 million and do that right now.
So in the story that we have on iFiber 1 News Radio, it says the Department of Health has let the city know that the water system has been inadequate back in 2002 and in 2012.
Last year, we were made aware that the well ran low. That's right.
Okay.
So you only heard that in 2015. You didn't hear it in 2012.
No. The only time I heard it, and in our city administrator's defense, he did let us know that last August the well was running low, and that the Public Works Department was putting together a plan to address that. And so, but the concept of borrowing $1.3 million today, right now, it first was addressed to me basically about 2 weeks ago. And so I just need a little more time to absorb that because, it's called, we're financially, we need to really be prudent over what we've got, what we're doing. And a lot of people basically, agree with me that we want to do everything we can do to stop continuing to raise water, sewer, and garbage rates, and that when you have to borrow money, you have to borrow money. Maybe this case was more of a legitimate case than maybe a lot of money that's been borrowed in the past. But all I can say is from whether we do it now or 6 months from now, which the water will not get to anybody any sooner. And there is no pressure drop. Nobody's reporting any pressure drops. Okay, so this is not a life-threatening issue here. And so that's my opinion.
Shelton Mayor Gary Cronce, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. I'll come back more often.
That is going to be in the Journal this Thursday, and we'll put a copy of that up on our website as well, your response to last week's articles.
Absolutely. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank
you very much.
828 at iFiber 1 News Radio.
Hi, this is Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. Many of our Shiloh customers have been visiting our Shiloh locations for years. And here's an example of someone who wouldn't stay anywhere else.
Sometimes I go visit family, but most of the time I travel back and forth for business. And the best part is that I always travel with my dog Lucky, and he's welcome at any of the Shiloh Inns. I love their beds, beautiful rooms, really clean. The staff go out of their way to